Thanks for tuning in to You Are the Magic Pill. Do you often wish that you could just pop a magic pill that would change your life instantly, giving you everything that your heart desires? The truth is, you don't need one, because get this, you are the magic pill. I'm your host, Victoria, and during this podcast, I will be giving you a dose of my truth by keeping it real with inspiring stories and wisdom. My mission is to show you how to fall in love with yourself so that you can discover your own truth. If you are ready to realize that you are the magic pill, then come on a heroic journey with me to remember who you truly are, to activate that power found within. Hi, and welcome back to You Are the Magic Pill. Today I'm excited because I have my friend on as a special guest. Her name is Jillian Ladano. She's a personal transformation coach, energy healer, speaker, and host of Thursday Talks, weekly live talk show. Really good stuff. I'm really looking forward to my conversation with Jillian about tapping and some other really cool techniques and tips that she has to tell us all about today. Hi, Jillian. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here with me today.
Hey, Victoria. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so honored to be on your show.
I can't wait for you to talk to me about your YouTube channel that you started. I have looked at some of your videos and I really enjoy them, but I was wondering if you could share a little bit more about why you started that.
Absolutely. And thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Yeah, my YouTube channel, that's been something that I've been really passionate about, especially within this last year. And I started it because of my love of emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, and of meditation. So my channel, as you've seen, is primarily all that. It's teaching people how to tap, which we could talk more about in a minute. Teaches people how to tap, teaches people different guided meditations, and basically helps people realize, same thing with your show, that they are the magic pill and they could help themselves, right? We're always looking for help outside of ourselves, but this YouTube channel really equips people with the knowledge and the tools and the skills to really help themselves with, things like anxiety. Or I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not saying that this will definitely help your ailments,
Right.
but it has helped me in the past. So things that have helped me, I love sharing with other people. But, feeling stress, a lot of us feel a lot of stress, or some people, like I said, experience a little bit of anxiety here or there. So these are just little energy healing modalities to help you in your toolbox to help yourself.
Yeah, and I do love that because we do have the medicine within each one of us. And I think a lot of times we're not taught that. So we don't even think about it. And then when you become aware of it and you start discovering things like the EFT, then you're like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. Like when I first heard about it, I didn't even know what tapping was. Like, what are you talking about tapping? Like, what do you mean by that? And then, you start to explore it. And at first it seems a little woo-woo, like I thought it was, like a little woo-woo coming from my background. But now I really get it. Like I understand it a lot more. And actually, I need to start tapping back into that.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I first was introduced to it, for the listeners who might not know what EFT tapping is, when I was first introduced to it, I thought the same thing you did. I thought it was a little woo-woo until I realized there was a lot of scientific research behind it. So like a little brief history of it, back in the 70s, there was a doctor, Roger Callahan, and he came up with thought field therapy, which kind of combined like modern psychotherapy with Eastern medicine, like acupuncture. A lot of people are familiar with acupuncture and acupressure. Mm-hmm. And that's basically saying that there are meridian systems running through our bodies, which are energetic highways. So in acupuncture and acupressure, you're working on the endpoints of the meridian system to balance your energy and to create, flow in your body. And it helps and heals. So he came up with this thought field therapy that would, instead of using needles for acupuncture, he would use your fingertips, hence the name tapping. So you're actually tapping on these endpoints. And it's creating a similar effect where it's calming your amygdala of your brain, lowering stress hormones, and really reprogramming the way you feel about certain things. So his thought field therapy was great, but it was really complicated because, say, for instance, you had one problem and I had another problem, we would have very different tapping sequences. and they were very specific to that issue. So then later in the 90s, one of his students, Gary Craig, he developed EFT, emotional freedom technique, which I like to say is like a one size fits all. So any problem you have, you're going to get to at some point or another with his 9-point sequence. So that's the one that you and I know today. Those are the ones that you see on my tapping videos. It's a 9-point tapping sequence that kind of gets to all the points. So whatever it is you're tapping on, you're going to get to it at some point or another with Gary Craig's version of it. So the 9-point version that Gary Craig did, that's the one that, like I said, is a one size fits all. So that's what you'll see on most tapping videos when you look on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen, I have followed some other tapping, and I've noticed that, I didn't know the history of that. So thank you for sharing that. Keeping it simple is definitely the way that I like to do it on my show. And so I'm glad that that has been reduced to that, to be able to make it more user friendly for people to be able to do it and to do it daily, right? Don't you do it daily?
Absolutely. Yeah. In the morning when I meditate, when I'm done meditating, I usually do a round of tapping, and I usually just do it on whatever I feel called to do that day. And when you do tap, typically what you do is before you start, you kind of rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So say that day it is stress that you're feeling. You're feeling a little stressed, maybe something that's going on at work. So you're going to rate your stress on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, oh, I feel like I'm at a 9 right now. You're going to do a round of tapping. And then at the end of it, you're going to rate yourself again. And that's the real quick way to see. Even if you went down a number, even if you went down one number, that's huge. Even if you went down no numbers, that's still good because you still tried, right? I tap every morning, and it doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It could be a 2-minute tap, And once you start getting the hang of it, you could do it when you're driving. That's the cool part. You could do it anywhere, anytime. You might look a little silly if you do it when you're driving in your car. As you know, it looks a little funny in the beginning. Yeah, you could do it every day.
Yeah, well, I've seen some people do some really crazy stuff in their car, like brush their teeth even. So, I think doing some tapping might not be that crazy for some people to see, but yeah, it might feel a little bit awkward. But yeah, I think that, even for people that aren't that familiar with it, or they still think it might be a little strange because they've never done it. I was talking to you a little bit about this before, that what I really discovered along the journey of becoming more familiar with it was just that even if you don't even resonate just at first with all of what you just said, with the history of it and what it's actually doing, the fact is that when you are going through the process of it, you're creating that feeling within you, and it's all about the feeling and raising that vibration. And then that leads to that shift in your energy, which is fantastic, which is what you need, is that shifting. Because if you stay in that anxious or fearful place, then as you know, you can kind of get lost in your mind and get lost in all of it. And it makes it worse. And we all have done that. And I've done it a lot, actually. And so that's where something like this can really help you overcome it and not stay there too long, and to give you a tool to be able to shift it, a little bit quicker and not get in that place where it feels really, really hard to come back out of.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. You don't even have to know anything about it, to be honest. You could literally just learn the 9 points, super easy to learn. Like I said, I have a YouTube channel. You could even see this on. There's an intro to tapping video on there. My YouTube channel is jillianladano.tv. But you don't even need to know the backstory. You don't need to know the history. All you need to do is tap on the points. It's so easy. And instantly, whether you realize it or not, your body starts to calm down. And for any skeptics out there, there's tons of scientific proof if you ever needed to see it. I have an online community called Breathe and Balance, and I had posted in there a video one day of a woman doing it she had like the feeds, the electronic feeds, reading brain waves as she was doing it. In the instant she started tapping on these points, everything started slowing down, and you could see it. And it was really, really interesting to watch, because Victoria, like you said, you don't need to know any of this backstory. You just need to know that you feel better when you do it. And that's all that matters, is getting into that place of feeling good, creating that vibration that's aligned with what it is you actually want in your life. And this is such an easy way to get to that place. And that's why I'm just such a huge advocate of this. And anybody could do it. You don't have to, it's unlike meditation. You don't need this big, extensive practice. You could just start tapping today. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think that that's important to realize that we all are seeking, yeah, we're all seeking like that purpose that we feel. And maybe not all, but I feel like most people have that sensation inside their heart that they're seeking something greater than themselves and they're trying to connect. And I feel like this is a great first step in trying to make that connection if you feel disconnected. And so sometimes it's hard for people to just meditate. So if they're having a hard time meditating, then this could be definitely something to introduce to just kind of to jumpstart that.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I've heard so many people when talking about meditation say, I just don't know how, or I don't think I'm doing it right. I can't quiet my mind, all of the above, right? We hear that a lot. And,
Mhm.
and over time, you can develop a beautiful practice and you could meditate for 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be extensive. However, this is even easier than that. So, this, like you said, is a perfect segue into energetics and into tapping into your own energy system and learning how to self soothe, learning
Mhm.
how to make yourself feel amazing, easy, and quick. It's instantaneous sometimes. And when you're doing the tapping, you'll notice sometimes you might start yawning a lot when you're doing it because that's an
Mhm.
energy release. You might get really emotional. I've tapped before where I've cried my eyes out, but beautiful crying, like cathartic release crying, good crying. I've laughed before. You may do nothing. So it's very interesting and again, super easy and such a beautiful way to start connecting with yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I need to step into more. Like I've done it. I go through kind of like working out. You work out and then you don't. You work out, you tap, then you don't. So it's like being consistent with anything in life is where the real beauty, the real magic within, really takes shape into your reality. And so I think, if people were to just try it and to see that they would realize that it does really raise your vibration, and I can totally tell whenever I've done it that I just feel so much better. And like you said, you can go through where you experience that bliss, that joy, or even it's bringing up something. It could, kind of make you have to release some other emotions too, but that's good to get those emotions out, to express yourself and to realize that, sometimes they need to come up and go out,
Yeah, absolutely. You need to create space, and this is a good way to do that. What we said before about meditation, there was one little trick I wanted to tell you guys too. Again, not getting into meditation practices. This is more talking about tapping today, but there is one little thing that you guys could do similar because tapping, you're tapping on your face. That's where all your tapping points are, face and neck and shoulder. But there is a quick meditation technique that anybody could do right now. If you put your hand out in front of you in like a surf's up position, like with your thumb and your pinky finger, and then the other fingers are curled down, there's a alternate nostril breathing. And not a lot of people realize this, but each nostril really does a different thing, even though we don't realize that.
Yeah.
So your left nostril, if you breathe solely out of your left nostril, so if you cover your right nostril for a moment with your thumb, say, and you're just breathing out of your left, if you do a few breaths in and out, your left nostril is the nostril that actually calms your body down. So if say you're in a heightened state and you need to calm down quick, this is a super easy way. Again, like tapping, you could do this anywhere. Cover your right nostril and just breathe in and out through your nose, just out of your left. That'll calm you down. If you're in a situation where you need some energy, say you're about to go on stage and give a talk, or you're at work and you need to give a presentation, you want that energy. Now you'd cover your left nostril and just breathe out of your right, and that activates. So typically in a day, we're breathing out of both. So you're getting a little bit of a balance, a yin and a yang. But if you want to, you could take advantage of the two different ways each nose, each nostril is working for you. That's a super quick, easy one that you could have in your back pocket. If you're feeling stressed, just cover the right one and close your eyes for a moment and just take a couple breaths and it'll slow you right down. It's really cool.
That is really cool. I'm gonna have to try that. I'll get back to you on that. You have any other tips?
Yeah, I mean, another one, if we're talking about meditation, another really easy one is box breathing. A lot of people listening might already know about box breathing, but if you actually visualize a box, the four sides to it, you would breathe in for four, a count of four, you would hold for a count of four, exhale for a count of four, and then hold for a count of four. And again, super quick, easy way to calm yourself down if, again, you're feeling a little heightened, right? You want to kind of come down for a minute. Again, this is something you could do in the car. You could do this anywhere. Nobody would even know you were doing it. It's not a meditative practice where you need to go sit on a meditation pillow and close your eyes. And, this could be done at any time. And I always tell people, if we don't learn how to control our breath will control us.
Mm-hmm.
So these little tips are so powerful because it goes back again. I love the title of your show, You Are the Magic Pill. I mean, that means so much to me because I've really learned that through the years. And these little tips just kind of show you really are in control of how you feel. We co-create, don't get me wrong, but we are very much in control. And once you start learning little tiny tools like tapping, breathing techniques, you feel like you're on top of the world because you're really controlling how you feel. And it just gives you a greater sense of purpose because you know that you really are the magic pill. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I think that that's beautiful because it's all about becoming aware of these things because, like I said before, we weren't taught these things, so we have no idea about them. But when you start to become aware, you start to discover that, hey, I'm feeling this way, but I can control it. I can go within and I can utilize tools like this to help bring me back to that connection and to help calm me down because the world we live in this moment, sometimes we do have a lot of, chaos or anxiety or stress coming up. And even from childhood trauma and things like that we haven't really uncovered or revealed or hasn't been shown to us just yet, but we're having that happen, subconsciously, we're still having those feelings. I know I've been working on a lot of that stuff lately and, meditation and doing the tapping can really help, like you said, calm you and bring you back to the place of peace and where you can not always feel that anxiety and fear and stress, where you can take your power back and soothe yourself by doing some of these activities.
Absolutely. And you know what? One other cool thing is I saw a tapping video years ago on this, and I actually created one myself on my channel. You could also do positive tapping, which is another spin on it. So even if you're not feeling down, if you're not feeling low, if it's nothing like that, you just really want to be super excited about something.
Yeah.
I have a tapping video on. One of them is expecting something big to happen. And the whole time you're tapping, it's like, oh my goodness, something big is on its way. I can't wait to see what it is. And while you're doing it, you feel your energy shift. I mean, I've done that video that I've made myself. It's kind of funny to do my own videos, but by the end of it, you are just pumped. Something big is happening. You're ready. Your energy's there. This is a whole nother topic, but getting into that, aligning your energy with what you want. I mean, that is a beautiful way to do it as well. So there's lots of cool benefits of tapping. But what I notice on my YouTube channel is the top viewed video of tapping on there is the tapping for anxiety, stress, and fear. And that to me, it just warms my heart to know that people are actually going to this video for whatever it is they're looking for, because I was somebody who suffered with anxiety a lot throughout my life. So to know that people are actually using this for a tool and knowing people actually want to start helping themselves is just one of my greatest joys, to know that I could be a part of someone else's journey like that. And yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah. And I think I'm glad that you brought that up because it is really beneficial to realize and become aware that, hey, a lot of other people feel this way too. And that there's resources like your video to help shift you from the anxiety. But then I do love I get, something exciting's on its way, that video. I've done some other videos like that in the past too. And I did look at yours as well. And it's great because it really does, like sometimes I have a hard time visualizing. I'm working on that and clearing those blocks of that. But what I love about tapping is that when you're doing that and you're saying, something really big is about to happen, something amazing is coming my way, then you do start to feel like it's actually already happened, and that you start to kind of let down those walls and you start to see it. And then you just start to just expect it. And then that is where the true magic happens. That's how we create our reality. And so if you can't do it on your own, having something like tapping is just amazing. It's a way to help you jump in and step more into that belief to have it in your reality, to see it.
Yeah, it's really changed my life a lot. Just hearing you say when you were just saying the words about that particular positive video, like I noticed myself starting to smile, like as I was hearing you say that, like, because it's so interesting hearing those types of words and repeating them. And while you're tapping on the meridians, while you're doing it, just creates like the perfect balance. And I invite everybody listening, if you want to really feel good, try out one of those types of tapping videos on a positive tap. They're just so motivating and inspiring. And you just feel like you could feel your whole energy shift instantly in one of those videos.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important for people to know, because it's like sometimes you get stuck in this place, or even like I don't know, like you just don't even realize that you can shift everything. Like you can change it all just by what you think about. Like it is true, what you think about, you bring about, and then add in the feeling of it, then you've really got something going there. And so it's just kind of like too, like, when you're working out, you start to feel better too. So anything that you're doing, if it elevates you and it makes you get out of whatever it is in your head and you want to, really think about what you want, then that's why it's so important to do things like this. And that's why I love your videos, because it does help you to really get into what you want to actually have in your reality.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I so align with the concept of this podcast because I feel the same way. My whole goal in life is helping people empower themselves. That's what my coaching practice is around: personal transformation, helping people find their soul's purpose. My videos, same thing, helping people empower themselves to help themselves in whatever it may be. Everything sits with and lands with somebody differently, but that is my whole goal in life, is to help people feel like, that they belong, that they are powerful, that they can support themselves. And that's what you're doing with the show. So I'm so excited to be a part of this today with you. And I love what you're doing. And I love the ideas that you're putting out there, because it's really important for people to know that we really have all the resources we need. We just have to tap into them. No pun intended, but we just have to tap into it all.
Yeah, like unplug. I love that too. Unplug from that outer source and plug in to the inner source, or tap into the inner source. But, it is true. I mean, like if you're tapping your way into yourself, that's beautiful. You just have to find what works for you. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, to give people another idea, another way to go within. And everybody has their own truth. I'm not, I'm just the messenger. I'm not the convincer. I like to say, the first step girl. I'm the person that's trying to, share the good news that you do have that power within and you can break free from, I like to say, societal bullshit. You can break free from the things that we were taught and relearn, learn some new things. And that it's not woo-woo necessarily once you get more used to whatever it is that you're discovering for the first time. It's always weird when you're looking at something for the first time, especially when you're so ingrained in stuff growing up. And I don't know, like, I think it's really cool now to learn all these wonderful new things and new ways to find that power within, new ways to ignite and inspire yourself. And when you inspire and ignite yourself, then that's when you do truly take your power back. And that's when you can really live your purpose. And while you're here, like you said, your soul's purpose, like, what are we here to do? And that's how you discover it.
I totally agree. Well said.
Thank you. Well, do you have any last comments that you want to say about that? I know I want to have you on again to get a little bit more in depth and some other things that you do that are really cool. But do you have any other last tips or anything else that you'd like to share with me?
Well, I don't know. I think we touched on most of it today with tapping. Like I said, anybody listening, I invite you, if you'd love to check out anything we talked about today, you could do that over on my YouTube channel, JillianLodano.tv. And my website's launching soon, JillianLodano.com. So check it out over there too. And it has been such a pleasure being on with you today. And I love what you're doing. So thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, Jillian. I love that you're my friend, and I love that you are helping so many people feel better and to create the lives that they're wanting to truly live and what they came here to do. I'm happy that you're helping them to open up the eyes to their heart and to really have a fulfilling life and to realize that they have the power to change it all, to have it all. So thank you so much for joining me and having a conversation and sharing all your wisdom with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today on You Are the Magic Pill. My hope is that you leave this podcast feeling better about yourself, inspired, activated, and ready to swallow your fears to realize your dreams. I would be honored if you would leave me a 5-star review over in iTunes. Each week I'll randomly choose one person to win some You Are the Magic Pill swag. Make sure you add your name to the review and I'll reach out to you if you're the winner. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. Be sure to pop over to youarethemagicpill.com for past episodes and more gifts to help you wake up and realize that you are the magic pill and you can change it all to have it all.